Hello everybody, it is Michael Pierce here, finally making another video. I believe a number of months ago when I made my last video, I had mentioned my idea of hopefully doing this every week or every other week, and obviously that did not happen, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why that is. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is that after some deliberation, I've finally decided I'm going to close my Patreon account. For all of those who have ever donated anything through that account, thank you. I'm very grateful for the contributions that you've made. When I started it in 2016, the donations I received at that time especially were extraordinarily helpful. I got help from other places, but if anything, it was an extremely useful and an extremely kind and generous thing for you guys to do for me to donate through that account, whatever it was that each of you decided. You were able to contribute, and it really did help me get through college, my undergraduate, and has since the donations have accumulated since I've had it and are currently now serving as a significant chunk out of my fund that I've been using to get me through grad school. So I'm extremely thankful for that as well. I don't even really know what to say. I have a lot of feelings, but I'll try to keep this concise. Part of my reason for deciding to close it now is, one, because there are only about 6 people who are still being patrons, and God bless you. I've already reached out to you guys to let you know ahead of time, at least as best I could, and I'm very grateful for that. But there's only 6 people. It's only been about $50 a month, and most importantly, I don't need it anymore. It's such a small amount. It makes my taxes more complicated. I'll just give you those sort of cynical, pragmatic reasons for it. Also, there is a sense that, at this point, especially because I have not been very active with videos lately, even though I have made it clear, I've done my best to make it clear that it's essentially operating more like a tip jar. I make no promises or anything. Even with that addendum, it's still like, well, it's a Patreon, and that's not really what you're supposed to do with it. And that's reflected in the fact that there aren't very many patrons left. So I'm kind of surprised there are any at all, and grateful for that. But in any case, so that's where it's at, and I'm just like, I just feel like and maybe arguably I should have closed it sooner, but that's just me running through all kinds of stuff in my head. The point is, I am closing it now, and I am extremely grateful for the donations I've received through there. And I apologize if at any point I did not seem that way because of missing messages that people sent me and things like this. There's a variety of reasons for why that was the case, but we don't need to get into that here. Thank you. So as far as the nuts and bolts of closing it down, as I understand it, it will take a little bit for it to officially close, and I'm not entirely sure what that will exactly entail, but it may very well be if, for example, I officially, pushed the button to close it today, it may, from what it says, it may very well take another 30 days for it to fully process and fully be kind of gone from Patreon. So just so you know that there will probably be that gap. Probably in the next day or two, I will officially make that decision. Well, I've already made the decision, but to push the button, I like doing this motion. So yeah, I think that covers it as far as Patreon is concerned. The other thing I wanted to cover is why I haven't made videos for a while. In general, this has been a thing. I've been very spotty in making videos, and the most present reason for that, the simplest reason is, well, I made the quantum mechanics videos right as my first semester was starting here at grad school. And so it's easy enough to say, well, I got very busy, and that's very true. And it was there are some reasons why that semester was particularly stressful, and took a lot of my mental energy, aside from just the academic part of it. And I do intend to make a video that addresses a little bit of that, because it actually, I feel like I've developed some ideas about the way that, well, I'll save it for that video because I'm not entirely sure what I want to say. But I have ideas about how college classes operate, and some of the customs and things that have developed over time that I have some critiques of. But I'm thinking I'm going to write a more of a script so I can really focus and figure out what is it that's actually bothering me. But in any case, so that's the most immediate reason. It was sort of a stressful semester, and I wanted to focus on my the academic side. But the other reason is that, even given that, I had a fairly generous winter break, and I could have made videos then, and I wanted to a certain extent, and I sat down and actually began recording a couple of times, and I couldn't really do it. And I realized the reason it just wasn't happening, it just wasn't flowing, was because I realized my real reason for doing it was not because I was really excited about trying to share such and such an idea. It really, the biggest motivating reason was because I just felt guilty for not posting anything on the channel. So it really was a social thing. And I realized that for whatever reason, for me, that's just not the right motivation for me to make videos. And I feel like that could lead down a path of me making stuff just to sort of maintain some sense of popularity or something like this, and I don't ever want to do that personally. And more importantly, I don't even know if I'm capable of doing that, is what I sort of learned over winter break. And so I have to really feel like, yeah, I want to share this. I have a reason to share this other than just for the sake of having something that I share so that I can say, yes, I'm still active with the channel. That kind of goes into another reason why I'm closing the Patreon, is sort of fully realizing, and it should have been pretty obvious years ago, but somehow it feels like if I don't know if how long of a gap there will be in between my desire to make a video here and make a video there, if I have no guarantee on that, then I don't know, having a Patreon where the whole model is sort of focused on having more of a schedule and having, basically, I don't like feeling beholden to you guys. I guess that's the frankest way of putting it, even though I do, because I love y'all in sort of that parasocial love that a creator can have. But I can't. What I know that the reason that my content is, one of the reasons my content is liked, is because people can sense the fact that I'm very genuine in my creation of it. I'm not just cranking it out. And and that's because I made it because I wanted to make it. And so anyway, it's pretty standard stuff, honestly, but I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest to kind of explain, not just to you, but to myself, why I haven't been as active. So that all being said, I actually feel, as I mentioned before, that I have some stuff that I may post here on the channel. It's not explicitly Myers-Briggs related, kind of like the quantum theory stuff. And so I have no idea how many of you will still be interested in it, but I've developed some ideas, or I have some opinions that I would like to share and kind of, I'd be interested in what you guys have to think. Because I want to write it down and articulate it better, so that I make sure I'm being fair. But I have some specific ideas about how to improve grad education, how to improve the way that particularly in philosophy, but not necessarily just limited to there, but the way that the classes are run and the customs behind them and stuff. And so I'd like to workshop that through YouTube, because I can get other people's perspectives, and also it would probably just be cathartic for me, to be perfectly frank. So look for that in a little bit. I don't know. Again, I don't know how long that will take. I hope that I don't hamstring my creativity by even mentioning it to you guys. I really feel like, well, if that's going to be the case, I need to overcome that, because anyway, I'm just rambling. So anyway, I think that's everything that I wanted to say for now, in the spur of the moment thing. Love you guys, again, in a parasocial way, which is always kind of interesting. But I'm very grateful for all of your support, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next video relatively soon, because I actually recorded a video last night where I didn't have a script. I was just sort of rambling, and I decided, you know what, there's some good material here. I would like to flesh this out, because I feel like I said some things there that I'm like, you know, I don't know if I want to stand by that, so let me actually sit down and work out what I want to say, which is actually good, because I haven't felt that way for a little while, where I felt motivated to write something up. But obviously it's going to have to take second place to my actual studies and stuff like that. But right now I seem to feel kind of that spark. I'd like to share some of my ideas on that. So hope I haven't built it up too much in your minds. But anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But okay, thanks everybody. I will see you in the next video.